This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now today, if you noticed in the title, I ask a question. Okay? You know, what do certain games have, what do all games have in common with each other, no matter the size, no matter anything, okay? What does a game like this, Warcry, okay, close to 300 and some odd dollars, and Awful Green Things, the Awful Green Things from Outer Space, what do these two have in common? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's fun. Fun. Every game has in common with every other game is that they are made to be fun. And the biggest problem that I've been hearing and looking at is that there's nothing wrong with big games with big price tags. Not a thing wrong. And if you want all the bells and whistles and that is going to hit your fun spot, you know, inside you, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a fantastic thing. This isn't an indictment of miniature, overproduced games. But I think what we do is we lose value of games. Okay, a small little game like this, it's just a map and a couple of pieces of cardboard. Okay. But this game is probably one of the most historic, okay? And yet when you talk about Steve Jackson games, what do people always talk about? The Awful Green Things from Outer Space. What did it cost to make this? It's fun. We play games to have fun, okay? You know, whenever I see reviews, and you never hear about how fun a game is. The things that you hear about is, oh, look at all these beautiful miniatures. Look at the components that this comes with. This is absolutely gorgeous. I've done it myself. Yet we don't report on what is the most important thing, is how much fun you had, no matter the size of the game. And I think we get lost in a lot of things, because a lot of these Kickstarter campaigns, and this isn't a thing about Kickstarter, where they are going to come out with a game and it is going to be, here's this game, it's monumental, we want to fund it, and this, you know, if you get at this level, you're going to get these exclusive miniatures, you're going to get the exclusive neoprene map. How do those add to the fun? Do they add to the fear of missing out thing that happens every once in a while? Do they enhance the game? Do they make the game better? In some ways, yeah, I could see it. It makes it look nicer. Maybe it builds theme a little bit. But, you know, when I was a kid, all right, and again, you know, I think the people that this really is geared towards, and I think the older group, like myself, also fall into this trap. You know, where we go, oh wow, look at that. Boy, I wish I had that when I was a kid. And then I go, okay, I got the disposable income. Let me just grab all of it. And bright lights, you know. Does putting, I think it comes down to something, and let's talk, because it is the season, okay? You put a million flashing LED lights that light up and spin around and say Christmas, and you know, does all kinds of images on your Christmas tree, and the tree sings. Trust me, I live this on a daily basis. But it does all these phenomenal, unbelievable things, and then you have a tree with just a set of lights on it. Does it take away from the spirit of what you're trying to do? The Christmas spirit? And I'm not talking about a religious viewpoint. I'm talking about if that tree means something to you that doesn't have as many lights, and at night when you look at it and it's decorated, does it need all the bells and whistles of the one that plays Christmas music and does 27 different images and things like that? We get attracted to the bright lights, and we kind of forget that they're both trees. Okay? We get pulled into all the bright lights and all the music and all that stuff. We look that way, and we don't realize they're both the same thing and they accomplish the same goal, and that you can get the same value out of both. You know, a nice, and this isn't an indictment of either one of these games, but you know, something, you know, these small little baggy games that you can get. You can have more than a couple of evenings of fun with your group, and it's not going to cost you as much. What it comes down to is fun. Finding games that are fun. They don't have to have all the bells and whistles. Games are made to be fun. Some are more fun than others, of course. But at the heart of it, it's a game. And if it's called a game, games are made to be fun, and they're going to reach certain groups. Sometimes you don't need all the bells and whistles and all the special carved dice and posters and special mats and painted sun dropped minis and all that stuff. What it just comes down to is finding a game that is fun, no matter the size, no matter the grandeur, no matter all these things. We get caught up in the bright lights. And sometimes we miss out on things that are just fantastic. Games that just come in little itty bitty boxes. I've covered a bunch of that stuff by Jason Glover. You know, I was able to order from the craft place, and you know, independent games, people making independent games. You know, games like Martin Knight and his D100 and all those type of games. You don't need a lot of flash. You don't need a lot of things. You just need to have fun. We don't need to have all these over-the-top games. Okay? You know, I go on eBay, and these games that are just coming out off Kickstarter exclusives. You know, the Frosthavens right now, you know, that are coming out. And they're going for $600. Can you get the same kind of experience from a D100? You sure can. So cough up to $20 instead of the $600. ISS Vanguard. And this isn't about those games. This is about, you know, people, you know, all these, you know, every company has fallen into it where these massive Kickstarters with all these massive add-ons and stuff like that. Everybody does it. You know, everybody has an imagination, and they want to stuff all the game into one big Kickstarter so it makes a few $1 million. When sometimes just the most simplest things you can get the same kind of experience from. We've all gone after them, and it's not bad for them to do it. But what I'm trying to say, and I think the whole point of this video and what we're doing is we're overlooking the little things, the little things in life that can make a difference. You know, and I kind of tend to gear this towards, you know, people that are more, you know, younger, a lot younger, because back when I was a kid, okay, there, you know, you went and got a baggy game and you played that thing until you know, the baggie was falling apart and you had to try to get another bag from your mom. Hey, can I have one of those really expensive Ziploc bags? Back then they were really expensive, and you know, it was an accessory. It wasn't like nowadays where they're a dime a dozen. You'd rip the bag from taking it in and out. making sure you have all the little counters that you had to cut out. But the experience, the fun, saving up your money and getting one of those Avalon box games, those library book games. And, there wasn't a lot of graphics on a lot of those things, but it was your imagination and the fun of it. Things change, yes, of course. People make things more thought intuitive, more that it reaches a different type of audience, where the glitz and the glam, we have the capability to make things beautiful and take away from our imaginations. We do. We take away from our imaginations. The more glitz and glam, the less you use that gray matter. But there are games out there that you can play that you can use that gray matter. All you have to do is look back, and they're still pretty inexpensive. It's nothing to go find a game like this and a little bundle like this from Steve Jackson, okay? 1-page bulge, okay? All right, do you need to go buy the $120 Battle of the Bulge game that you could find, because there's millions of them out there, or can you just pick up one of these somewhere, okay, and pay a little less? Oh wow, this one's brand new, and just have the same type of experience. We're missing out on a lot of smaller, unique games, and I'm not just singling out Steve Jackson and things like that. I'm just talking about anybody that has an imagination and not the budget and says, well, I don't want to make this a big box thing. I had talked about, it's kind of funny, I had talked about a couple of games, and I wish I could remember what game it was, and I said, wouldn't this be cool if it was all in one big box? And they made a big box edition of this. Yeah, that would be cool. But that little indie feel sometimes, that fun that you have with a group, and you go, wow, this is fantastic. This is such a unique find. It's kind of like that indie band, I could go see them at a local club for about $20. Okay, listen, I haven't been to see a band in about, 30 years. Okay, well, that's not true. I went and saw Chicago, but you go see a little indie band at a little dive bar. Okay, and it only costs you a couple bucks and a bunch of drinks. Instead of going to get the same type of experience and have the same type of fun going to the, I'm going to say Hartford Civic Center, okay, for you people up in Connecticut, and paying $50 for a ticket in the nosebleed section. God only knows what you pay for a front row ticket. Okay, do you get the same experience? Yeah, you do. You find that you can love those little small things as much as you love those big popular things. It's just we tend to gravitate. Oh my God, Fleetwood Mac is coming. Okay, I'm dating myself. Okay, Jay-Z's coming with Beyonce. There we go. Oh my God, do you know how much this ticket's gonna be? I don't care. I want to go see it. Or can I go see? Somebody, a little smaller and pay less and still have the same wonderful evening. I think you see where I'm getting with this. We need not to forget the smaller game, the smaller company, because we can get the same type of enjoyment out of it as we can out of the big budget, big corporate games. And times are tough. It's time to start looking maybe at some of these more independent people. And really get a good feel and still have the same experiences and the same fun. Games are made to be fun, folks. Let's not overlook a lot of things, because they all share the same common denominator: fun. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We shall see you